Let's talk about the movie. Did you like it?
Yes.
There were a few things that made me cringe. I will say that. Was there stuff that made you cringe?
Yeah, whenever there was a ghost, I was getting pretty shaky.
Yeah. The ghost looks. This is a beautiful movie to look at. I will pretty much. I feel like the 3 movie day we did, we ended it on the high note. I don't know if you agree with me, but this is my favorite of all 3.
Remember how I keep on whispering to you? And mostly was that when you told me that the ghost was gonna keep on covering my eyes with this thing.
They were creepy looking. Visually, this is a beautiful movie. I love the visuals in it. And there's lots of contrast to it. Honestly, through a lot of it, I mean, I would totally classify this as horror, absolutely. But feels like a mystery with ghost. Very heavy ghost presence. But yeah, it's really cool. I'd almost consider it more a mystery than a ghost movie. But it's absolutely a horror movie. What thoughts do you have, honey?
I really think it's great, and the only thought besides that is the colors of the ghost.
Well, I'm not sure if I agree with your interpretation of that, but we'll get to that in spoilers. Have anything to say it's not a spoiler?
No.
Of course. Yeah, this was great. If you're a fan of horror, go check out Crimson Peak, man. This is a great movie. We saw 3 movies today. This is my favorite of the 3. And one of the movies is by Steven freaking Spielberg. And yeah, I enjoyed this one a lot more. Even though Bridge of Spies is great. I enjoyed that one immensely as well. But this one was just... So, this one was just visually, it was great. Yeah, I was engaged in the storyline. I will say there's little bits in the middle where I felt it dragged a little bit. But even then, visually, it was still stunning. So I can't give it too much grief for that. This is just a great movie. If you're a Guillermo del Toro fan or a horror fan or are interested in like a gothic period mystery and aren't squeamish of a little bit of really creepy, scary imagery, this is absolutely a movie for you. It was fantastic, I thought. So, you want to go into spoilers?
Yeah.
Okay. She has an analysis of the ghost I don't actually agree with, but I'll let her go over it.
Well, I knew it because of the way they act.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that the boy was nice. That was the only white ghost I saw in the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that the girl was bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that those red ghosts were such were I believe were devils.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't tell them the colors yet.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I'm just explaining to you how I know that.
Yeah.
Well, the colors of the ghosts mean things about who they are.
Mm-hmm.
White means good. I only saw one white ghost in there, and he was definitely a good person.
Mm-hmm.
Black means good, and red means devil.
Yeah, I don't get that interpretation at all. What I noticed was they are insanely creepy looking. And the one white ghost, I kind of think he was white because he's very recently dead. He was very recently dead. That's why I thought he was different. And everybody else was partially decomposed. I believe the red ghosts are supposed to be the ghosts that died on Crimson Peak. But I'm not certain of that. I'd have to rewatch it and analyze it.
They all died on Crimson Peak.
Not the black one at the beginning. And then the one at the end is white. And I think that's just because he was recently dead, so we would recognize him. Because he was actually still fairly put together, except he still had the injuries he got.
Yeah, it's just that...
You can probably guess who it is.
You can... When she died, she didn't turn that color. She turned black.
That's true. Oh, that's a good point, honey. I didn't think about that. But yeah, I don't, outside of maybe the girl at the end, I can't think of any actually bad ghosts here. They are certainly creepy looking
Yeah.
and evil looking. But the other thing is, I didn't see them interact with anything except visually. Like, they
Well,
could be seen and
they're-
perceived, but they couldn't, like, grab you. Well, no, they could grab you. But they...
Yeah.
I don't know if they
suppose-
actually made people do anything, though.
They don't.
Yeah.
From what I saw, and I mostly was doing this a lot of times. It was really scary, but I liked the story.
But the ghosts were not actually the scary part. The ghosts were not the bad guys.
Yeah, they weren't.
Yeah.
It was that one girl.
Yeah, glad we're into spoilers. Yes, it was the one girl. Yeah, I loved this movie. This was fantastic.
The other
This was a great movie to end this night on, I thought.
that other person only used the knife because if he didn't, his sister would have to.
Well, yeah, and he specifically asked the doctor where he could stab him and not kill him. Remember?
Yeah.
He was being sneaky. I thought. Oh yeah. If you have a child that's squeamish and not into horror movies, this is definitely not one to introduce them to horror movies at all. This is one that made me kind of squeamish, and yeah, she was going lots of times. Tell me what's done.
No, actually, I was doing. I actually took my hand and my hand was mostly in here. And I went this, but sometimes I just want to peek a little bit, and I move my fingers. And
I could have sworn there was once or twice where you were like, "Tell me when it's done. Tell me when it's done, okay?" You're just looking at it. You know what's going on. But yeah, this is not for someone that's squeamish. So if you have a child that's like, if your child's interested in horror, I would not throw them into this one. I would actually. Oh, there's better examples, but the one that pops up the top of my head would be like The Visit. Oh, you know what? Do the better M. Night Shyamalan one. Do Sixth Sense. That's a better one if they're interested in horror to kind of get them into it. She's been into horror for at least a few months, so we've seen quite a few. And there were still a couple of things in here where I was like... But you enjoyed the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty... Yeah. And... pretty much, even though he did die soon, he was, but we didn't really see her ghost, but at the end we saw a black ghost, so.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. The colors might not really represent anything. Of course, maybe I'm certain I'm going to rewatch it at some point.
Yeah.
Probably not in theaters, but.
Maybe it'll click better if you look at the ghost a bit better.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Most of the ghosts
This is a great one.
Most of the ghosts I saw were black, but some of them were red. And only one was white.
Yeah. Anyways, Crimson Peak. Go check it out if you like horror or if you like mysteries and aren't squeamish. Hey, if you like this video, please make sure to hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe. That helps me out a lot. And if you really love this video, consider visiting my Patreon page.